Hey, welcome back, MobilityWOD. It's not about me, it's about these ladies. Katie Hogan, Becca Voigt, good dancers. Yeah, it's totally true. Girls extraordinaire. What we want to talk about today is one of the drills that we systematically do with our athletes is kind of thinking about the technical problems that they are facing in terms of, hey, we all need bigger legs. All the cyclists I work with, they want bigger lungs. It turns out everyone wants a little bit more of everything. Dancers want more flexibility. So, okay, we take that aside. But we get you to start thinking about the problem lists of your positions. And one of the goals here, and I want you to do this at home, is build yourself a problem list. What is sort of the top 3 things you think maybe are holding you back? So, give me a problem list off the top of your head. If you had to prioritize, what's first, Katie?
Hips.
What about your hips?
My hips, they get really tight, and can't really get that extension.
So hip extension. So you're saying hip extension. Is it left and right are the same?
Yeah, they're pretty.
Hips, like H-I-P-Z, hips.
It's with a Z. I always thought it was a Z.
Word. That's what. What's up? So, okay. So how does that affect you?
It makes it harder to finish things like the squat or deadlift when I need to bring the power through. If it's really tight, it won't even. I'll be able to reach extension, but I'm fighting against myself.
All right. So the issue is that she's able to connect tight end to your hip with a specific problem, which is nice. And then, so that gives her a built-in test paradigm, and that's where we're starting to go. Is I want you guys to be able to think, hey, what are my movement mechanic problems, and how do I prioritize? What would be number 2?
I would say ankles.
What about
Achilles, and like that whole bottom of the squat. Let's say an air squat, front squat, overhead squat. You're just gonna, whether or not I can actually get down to the bottom and stay on my heels.
All right. So they're ankles specifically. Okay. Now here's the question: what have you done today to work on?
Today, nothing.
What'd you do yesterday to work on?
I smashed on them a little bit on a softball.
How long?
Probably 2 minutes each side.
2 minutes each side. Was that enough to make a dose? What'd you do before?
Nothing.
All right. So this is my favorite coaching cue. Dude, WTF? What? So the problem is that we get athletes now thinking about it, and then this is a nice way, as you start to generate a problem list in your training journal, you can start to systematically think, how much time am I really dedicating to this? Because obviously, in my worldview, these aren't real problems for you. You're not very serious. Let's talk to a serious athlete. Okay, Dr. Boyd, problem. Number 1 problem list for you. What's on your list?
Well, I'm very similar to Katie, hips and ankles, but shoulders.
What about shoulder?
Shoulders, I don't have that flexibility. The external rotation is extremely hard. I like to camp out here. This is comfortable.
It's cool. It's totally cute. In fact, you were just doing that with I'm cold. It's so cold in Southern California, right? I know. There's so many douchey girls around. I don't know. So, this is not that douchey. Not that douchey. Okay. So tight end to your hip, or tight end to your shoulder, and Becca's taking the next step and saying, okay, if I'm missing internal rotation, then I can't external rotate. Fantastic. Well, where do you see that movement?
Muscle ups, push-ups, dips,
All right.
overhead squats.
Are these places painful for you, or are they just restricted for you?
Well, for me, I'll find pain and restriction depending on what it is.
Okay, so pain and restriction, shoulder starts sometimes?
More restriction for me.
Just more restriction. Yeah. And that's the point. We want to try to move beyond waiting until this becomes pain, yes, no, and more into the fact that, hey, I'm always running a constant diagnostic tool on this. Any constant words, like people are obsessed with you, I'm not going to lie, and you're dancing. Give me one training goal idea, something that's going to revolutionize everyone.
Oh, just fix everything?
Yeah, the one moment.
On the spot coaching you, the one thing that's going to fix everything?
Well, one time, let me just give you an example. So one time, I went into this great paddler, I was trying to make the national team, and I was like, what's the secret? What's the one thing? I was like 19, he's like, laps. I was like, laps? What does that mean? And then he was like, bam, it just smoked my face. And then I actually made a card that I put up in it was like laps. It took like a month to understand he meant reps, but it came out as laps. I think he might have meant reps, but I heard laps.
Okay.
Laps. So what is it? Any advice for the athlete out there?
Yeah, slow down and treat yourself right and really work on the things that you're stuck at.
Sometimes it's about skill.
Yeah.
I was hanging out with Yami Tikkanen this weekend, and he was saying sometimes we're not practicing our skill practice. You were saying, how much skill practice do you practice as an All-American volleyball player?
Well, that's the thing. We would have a 2-hour-long practice, sometimes 3-hour-long practice, and easily 85–90% of that was spent with drills, skill, maybe a warm-up, of course, but mostly like breaking down the different movements we would be using in volleyball. And if we were lucky, if we were good, we'd get, you know, a 20-minute, 15-minute scrimmage at the end of the day. That was the game.
If you were lucky, you could work out. I like that idea. The idea about the problem list is that they've just taken the restrictions and turned them into a skill set. And now this just becomes another technical solution, technical problem to be solved by Husky girls. I'm not gonna lie. Husky, what's up? MobilityWOD. See you guys tomorrow.